I saw a mother in a restaurant, and she was telling her kids to smile, and they were crying. One of them was crying, and she was telling him to smile, and she said, "Smile," and she showed her teeth how to smile, and it didn't look so nice. And that's when I realized that some people don't understand what being happy means. They think that if the kid is smiling, then he's happy. If you learn enough Chassidus, if you learn any Chassidus, you know that that's not true. Happiness is not an expression. If someone hugs you, it doesn't mean that he likes you. If someone smiles, it doesn't mean that he's happy. This is only outer expressions that usually indicate on the inner feelings. There's something higher than a smile or a hug that makes somebody really happy. Real happiness is understanding, Yeshiva Das, fulfillment, knowing why I was created, what I'm here for, being at peace with oneself. And not necessarily will the person be smiling, not necessarily will the person be running around hugging people, but it doesn't mean he doesn't love every person in the world. A hug is a gesture, it's a notion, it's a tnuah, it's a movement, but it's not what actually represents the actual thing. It's just an external show. Now, obviously, it's nice to get a hug or to show or to see your friends smile, but it's not the point. And it's not something that should be looked at like, oh, he didn't smile, so he's probably very sad. It's not necessarily the case. Happiness is also freedom to serve Hashem, to serve God. When someone can serve Hashem to his fullest, and he's bringing out his capability to its fullest, then he is truly happy. For example, if a soul has to come down to fix a few things in this world, and he comes down in a frog, or he comes down in an animal, it gives him much pain, because a soul can express himself into a human with human characteristics. But when he comes down in a frog or a deer or another animal, so he cannot talk and he cannot interact like a person, so it makes him have tons of pain because he cannot express himself properly. And the same thing is even a human being. If a human being is being dictated in his service of Hashem, in the way he serves God, I'm talking about a Yid, of course. A non-Jew is not even connected to Torah and mitzvahs. But the way a Yid eats, the way a Yid sleeps, the way a Yid does his business, if he is dictated and he cannot serve Hashem properly, that is true pain. If a kid is serving Hashem and he's happy and he can express all the mitzvahs and he can do it with Bechira Chavshis, but at the same time with direction from his parents, which are the first ones to have the mitzvah to educate him. So then, and again, not be under nature, because a Jew is higher than nature. So that is true happiness. So the end point of this video and the answer to what I saw is that if your child is not smiling, doesn't mean they're not happy. And usually, if a parent wants that their kid should only be happy, but they don't actually care what's making the kid sad or what's making the kid feel different, so then that wanting them to be happy won't work. It's not going to work. And to have a deep understanding and to have patience and to know that everything is from Hashem and that we can just do a little bit. Hashem gives us the opportunity to do a little bit to make this world a better place, and we should be grateful for that. We shouldn't be all thinking that we run the world and that we could actually make our kids happy. Just like there was a king that asked a big rabbi, what does Hashem do today? So he said, Hashem, he matchmakes, he makes people get married, he decides who should get married to who. So the king said, I could also do that. He took 1,000 slaves, 500 males, 500 females. He matched them up, and the next day they all came running. This one said, I hate this guy because he's throwing chairs at me. All of them just told the king that it didn't work. And that's when he realizes how big of a deal it is to match people up. And that's what Hashem is busy with. So to think that we can do something that Hashem could do, to think that we can make people happy or what, we have to know that some people think that I'm going to give my kid a sandwich and a dollar bill to give him what the sandwich can't buy him, and send him off to school, so I'm going to make him happy. No. No. A good parent is a good parent. The parent has to be a good parent. The teacher, so too. The teacher has to be a good teacher. If you have, every person is a teacher. Every person has his people that he can influence, and his friends that he can influence, and his ways that he can get out to his friends that he influences, whether if it's social media or if it's actual people, or if, each person has his ways of expressing himself, just like this video. So if you go out there and you have your friends and your crew and you teach them something, so then you're their teacher, and it's like as if they're your children. So again, this applies the same way. Happiness is not judged by physical, at least not for a Jew, by physical enjoyment and this and that. It goes by something higher, something more deep, and children feel it much more. And that's why in this case you see the parent thinks that the kid's not happy because they're sitting in a restaurant, they're eating, and the kid's upset and the kid's crying, and the parent's like, smile. That looked very comforting. So I'm saying again, happiness is above and beyond such little things, and hopefully we will have the true happiness.